Hi, it's Gord Wilson from Entrust. Happy to be here today.
Thank you so much for giving Breaking Travel News some time here at the World Travel and Tourism Council in Kigali, Rwanda. So really, first of all, just give us a little bit of a background. What is your organisation all about?
Well, Entrust is here because we do a lot of work around seamless travel, immigration, borders, as well as digital identity. So we're involved in the traditional forms such as passports and national ID cards, but also things like digital travel credentials and digital identity to help people engage in transactions securely around the world, whether it be financial or crossing borders, as we talked about.
And what particularly brings you to the summit?
Well, the summit is great because it gives me a chance to really listen to travel and tourism leaders, the kinds of things that they're aiming for, their key challenges, and it gives me an opportunity to be able to see how we can apply our skills and capabilities to the challenges that are top of mind.
And how is Africa as a market for you?
Well, we've been heavily involved in Africa in the more traditional identity type businesses, as I mentioned. Africa is at a big change of how we have inclusiveness of people in the new economies. So digital identity, new forms of identity, using financial bank cards, digital cards, and history of people, not just traditional identities, to be able to allow them to participate in the global economic changes and digital economy.
And there's been a lot of talk already around sort of fluidity and seamlessness around travel and cross-border. What do you see as the opportunity for Africa here?
Well, as we heard today from the kickoff speakers, there's a huge potential for growth in travel in Africa. 5% already. Massive opportunity relative to other economic sectors to have facilitation of more rapid growth, and many jobs get created from that process, and investment flows into Africa. Getting people here is a key element of that, right? Trying to make it seamless, faster, simpler, less of a concern when you arrive, and the usual first impression, you don't want to stand in line for 2 hours waiting to get through a border. Those are simple things, but yet those are things that people worry about. If I have to apply for a visa to go everywhere, how complex is that process? So we're trying to take the complexity out of that process, make it more comfortable for people to go through the processes and not have that as a barrier to entry.
And how are you progressing with that?
Well, we're doing very well. WTTC, and we've been a member for many years now, looked at the whole area of seamless travel journey and did major papers, and we've been implementing elements of that. So we're working with UK government with their new electronic travel authorization program, which just barely kicked off. It'll run up to 30 million people a year, so we look at programs like how do we shift people from traditional visa programs to a very secure electronic travel authorization, which they can do at home quickly and simply, and complete payment if there's necessary, and get their answer back within a day, rather than a long process for visa and sending your passports as an example. Another area just of travel facilitation and travel services, we're working with Eurostar, for example, and using biometrics to be able to do all your check-in associated with your ticket. So when you get to St. Pancras Station, you basically walk through a lane, recognizes you biometrically, walk through UK exit on the border, and then you're on the train. So we're trying to take the front end piece of digital identity verification, apply it to traditional visa and immigration processes to make them simpler, and then facilitate the implementation of the actual travel experience through use of biometrics to make it simpler, faster, and easier for everybody.
Easier for everybody is definitely what we want. What is the challenge that you find when you're working with a destination or a government to enable this?
The big challenge right now is there's been a good deal of pilots. Now we have to go sort of that crossing the chasm to the majority. So pilots we can implement and plug into existing systems. Now if you want the majority, you have to change the existing system. So it's a lot of convincing people, showing proof statements, taking leading projects like I've mentioned, showing them to other governments, other travel service providers, and saying, these can work. These are beyond pilot stage now. We can help you get there. We have that experience.
Here's to a seamless travel world. Thank you for giving us your reflections today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.